Go.
Good evening, Dr. Schultz and fellow classmates. I'll discuss the impact of Christianity, which was instrumental in forming the basis of our nation's ideals and faith-based structure. Beginning with the Pilgrims' arrival in 1620 to Massachusetts and the establishment of the Puritans in the 1630s, America's colonial and spiritual origins began. Massachusetts Governor John Winthrop's word of a shining city upon the hill, as a reference to Matthew chapter 5, verse 14, was in some ways a utopian version of how strict and yet devoted the initial faith-based Americans were. As Winthrop and his colleagues, such as Thomas Hooker, the Mathers, and other Puritan divines, reveal in their works, the Puritans who settled in New England combined a fundamental conservatism with an unhesitating radicalism, and in a way, what was to become a pattern of their approach to life. Puritans came to the New World to build a new society, but never lost sight of the human weakness in what they were trying to do. Although the Puritans remain the most eloquent articulators of the covenant idea, they were not the only ones to bring this to America. The Scotch-Irish of the mountains and Piedmont from Pennsylvania to Georgia, the Dutch of New York, the Presbyterians, and to a lesser extent, the Quakers and German Sectarians of Pennsylvania, and the Middle States and the Huguenots of South Carolina were all nurtured in churches constructed on their covenant principles. Indeed, in the tradition that became so widespread that by 1776 over half of the new nation's congregations were based on covenant principles. Over time, other denominations would come to the American continent and express their religious methodology, free of the totalitarian views of the Church of England and its king and how Christianity should be preached. The religion which has introduced civil liberty is the religion of Christ and his apostles. This is genuine Christianity, and to this we owe our free constitution of government. Leading up to the American Revolution and the colonists' fight for and secular religious-based freedom, examples of courage and daring took place. An American colonial soldier's faith was shown when he carried in the Battle of Bunker Hill a Bible. The Bible is one of only two known to exist from the battle. It provides an incredible opportunity to showcase the role that religious faith played in sustaining those who were involved in the American Revolution. It is one thing to discover and develop new colonies based on religious freedom, as well as being able to express faith and defend the rights of worship and freedom. The recently acquired King James Bible will be put in the Museum of the American Revolution in Philadelphia and will be set there next year, and it'll be open. The American soldier, Francis Merrifield, who thanks God for sparing his life in the bloody Battle of Bunker Hill in 1775. He survived the war and later died in 1814. Our system of government found its roots in British institutions, ironically. The code of ethics followed by many Americans today organized from the Baptist, Methodist, and Presbyterian faith. In the book of Christian Heritage of America by George Headley, the author states, "The Baptist gift, American heritage, is a religious basis for democratic actions, democratic group life, plus separation of church and state. The Presbyterians with emphasis on God as law, discipline as a religious practice, and the training of the intellect, a sacred function of the believing community. The shift of seat authority from the church to the Bible, and the change of emphasis from noble works to implicit faith marks the gift made by the Lutherans to our Christian heritage." In this way of unknowing team effort amongst the different denominations forged our nation's values, ethics, and norms and spiritual framework. An honest study of America's beginning will reveal that a majority of Americans shared a common religion and ethic. America's earliest founders were self-professing Christians, and with their founding documents expressed a belief in Christian worldview. Also, John Witherspoon, who is considered the great teacher of the American Revolution for Independence, has the distinction of being the sole clergyman who signed the Declaration of Independence. He was a prominent preacher, became an advocate of historic Christian faith. In closing, I would like to express my appreciation for your attention, and I hope you enjoy the video and wishing God blessing on our great country, the United States of America.